What is going on, YouTube? Pass the prop back here. Yet again, we have another MLB show for you today. I actually didn't even count how many games we have because usually we have these 15 gamers, but looking like it's a little smaller today. Some travel days for some teams. Joined as always by my guy, Stu. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Can't complain. Had a pretty good weekend. Nice, relaxing weekend. It's going to be a busy week now. So, getting ready for that, obviously. But yeah, we got a good slate today. Like you said, sometimes you flip it open and the Monday slates can be a little rough, but it's a good slate. A lot of good options, some good pitchers on the mound as well. So yeah, excited to dive into it.
Yeah. I'm intrigued with a few of these spots. We have very all over the place in terms of starters. Some really good matchups, some really shit matchups. Some of my guys I really like to fade are playing shitty teams. Miles Michaelis specifically, so that makes him almost hard to bet now against either. It's because he gets the Rockies away from Brewers, so it's like, it's tough. So it was a good weekend of bets. Just looking up and down the slate from last time, and we had a interesting one. I think I lost mine for sure with Screwball there. I think the whole world lost Screwball. I was very, I don't know if you watched the game, but I was very, repressed with that umps zone. Obviously, that wasn't great. It's just I don't know how you give, you have a guy like Screwball, you got to give him those borderline calls usually, but they were. I guess I had to cover the whole plate for him to get it. So, unfortunately, did lose Screwball there. I lost using a lot of my stuff, so it was not a great Friday for me with Screwball in a great matchup.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. I mean, when he was started, I was only box score watching. I didn't actually watch the game. It looked like he started strong, then got kind of blown up at a certain point, which you don't really expect to see against the Angels. But it is what it is. Even the best have an off day sometimes.
Yeah, and speaking of that, sometimes the bad guys have a good day too, because I think Sugano ended up going 8 innings.
Yeah, that was rough. Sugano's best start of the year coming right here. What did he give up? 2 runs or was it nothing? I don't remember. This one I must have blacked out of my memory. Had a couple drinks to wash the pain away here. But hey, Sugano's made me a lot of money. I'll probably be going back to the well next time. But yeah, Athletics couldn't get it going in this one, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, it was an interesting slate across the board because I think he was one of the top guys, even in GPP lineups for DFS too, which is crazy to even think about. But yeah, we are on to today. We are still, I think, above 10 units now. We got to start turning this bad boy around a little bit here. But still above 500, still going there. It's Screwball can, definitely. He made me enough money this year where I'm not too pissed about it. But now I can finally wait till no Blue Jays on the slate, so that obviously takes away one of my boys. But good series there. Got to watch my Brewers get another sweep. That was crazy. Another sweep over the Mets too. So that was I grabbed Isaiah Collins at that plus 700 for his, even though I could have got it way earlier. So I'm hoping that he can find a way to do it, because he's obviously taking the reins a little bit more. Isaiah Collins is now down to plus 100 to win NL Rookie of the Year. So shout out Isaiah Collins, bro. Hopefully he can get that done.
Yeah, no, he shouted that on the show, and then he just kept cooking, since then, obviously. So, hey, I'm rooting for it. That would be nice. That would be a great story. I think the biggest problem is just like name value. Like people don't know who this guy is, and I feel like homers are the way you get attention a lot of the time now. So that would be dope if he could, because there's no like runaway guy. You know what I mean? Like it feels like we got options. So definitely like that call.
Yeah, I mean it's Baldwin and him. And Baldwin isn't even playing every day now with Sean Murphy back. So, I don't know, dude. It's Augustine Ramirez is in third place, 22-1. Like, you're not going around betting Drake Baldwin, bro. Like, he's not barely playing now. And now the Brewers are getting on TV. Now they're getting all those nice games, which is nice. But yeah, hopefully he continues. Plus 100 right now on Isaiah Collins. I still think he probably should be on. He should be the favorite right now after all. Walk-off home run to beat the Mets. I mean, he's gonna be closing in on 30 swipes this year too. By the end of the year, it's gonna be interesting. So, we got Tyrone got absolutely murdered this weekend. Luckily, had a Rose ticket. Yeah, that had to be sweaty for you, dude. That had to be sweaty with JJ Spawn there. Shout out JJ Spawn. I had him in quite a few of my DFS lineups, and he did his job, bro. Dude's a wizard for me. So I keep thinking I'm saying Screwball when he says Screwball's name. Hey, I don't know, man. That's the peanut butter whiskey, right? I think that's yeah. What's up, guys? Justin rolling with your squad. Over 2.5 versus 5. It's limited. Have great numbers. Ortiz yeah, I wouldn't be looking at any of Ortiz's numbers, even though they are been playing hot, man. They've been playing really good baseball. They're at home again, coming off of that crazy one. I just think that they're going to get to that bullpen too. So, like, I'm curious how far he goes there in that one. But, yeah, I don't mind it. This Pirates team is not good. They're not playing for anything. I know Central's probably getting 3 teams in now with the Reds playing good ball right now as well. So they're having to travel from Cincinnati up here. So it should be interesting here. But I will definitely I don't mind it at all. Don't mind that first 5-team total at all. All right, let's get to the slate, Stu. Let's get to the slate. All right. Top game on the board. Which one is taking your eye here, Stu?
Yeah, it's tough. It's actually looks like a pretty good, like solid slate. You know, there's some good options. I'm always interested when we got guys coming back like Javier against Crochet. Like, I'm curious how that will go for the Astros. Obviously, we bet on him a solid amount last year. It feels like that was the guy we talked about a decent amount returning from injury. I don't know how long they're going to let him go. I don't know if there are details or anything out on that. But yeah, that one against Crochet, obviously, who, you know, he's Garrett Crochet. He's one of the most exciting guys to watch in baseball as a pitcher. So that seems like a good one. I'm going to be watching my Nats as well today. They finally gave me something to root for with Cavalli looking good in his last start. So I'm going to tune in to at least watch him pitch. You know, we got a prospect doing something. So I'm excited for that game as well. But should be a pretty solid slate overall.
Yeah. There's a few games I like. Logan Webb, obviously getting a home start against San Diego. Probably having to do something there. I always like the Los Angeles matchups. That'll be cool. But I think the big game for me is going to be the late game, Jeffrey Springs and Pepio there. I'm excited for that one. I think that'll be I'm worried for Pepio, bro, having to head into that fucking place with the amount of stuff that he gives up. You know, a lot of fly balls, dude. A lot of fly balls. I think 60%. Air rate, which I think is pop-ups, line drives, or fly balls, 60%. 39% ground ball rate. That is not ideal. Not ideal here. So I could see some runs there.
Yeah, I mean, the total is, 10.5, it looks like, 10. I mean, they were kind of ready for it. Both guys are fly ball pitchers as well, Springs as well. So, yeah, that looks like that could be a good game to bet some home runs, you know?
Yes, sir. All right, Stu, let's get it going. Let's get it rolling here. Good slate. Let's kick it over to you to start us off.
Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really bet too much this weekend, but what I do a lot of the times if I'm just kind of relaxing and if there's a pitcher I want to target, you know, I'll just bet 2 like total basis props at plus money, you know, 130, 140 range. And if you cashed one of them, you walk away with a couple bucks. You know, it feels kind of like a low risk, solid enough reward thing. And Torkelson's been my guy in that department so far, just in general, because he's always priced at that like 0.5 total bases where it's all juiced up. So when you go up to 1.5, like you get the pretty solid price on him. But the only reason I did pivot over to hits, runs, RBIs is in this matchup, he's going up against the White Sox. They got a former Brewer as the opener. I don't know how familiar you are with that.
Yeah, I know Peguero.
Elvis Peguero. Yeah, he, from everything I read, will only be pitching 1 inning, but obviously they just picked him up the other day. And then it looks like the long man is going to be Tyler Alexander from the left side as well. So that kind of took out, like, I love Kerry Carpenter, but if he's only going to get 2 at-bats and they're 1 – you know what I mean? Like, they pinch hit a lot. on that, or a decent amount on that team for how good their players are. And Torkelson is the guy I'm normally going to against lefties in this lineup anyway. But overall, the Tigers, I mean, they've been good to me. Like, they had that little rough skid, obviously, out of the All-Star break where they were playing some pretty rough baseball. You know, they kind of got off to a bad little run, but they've course corrected even in their losses. The thing was they weren't scoring, right, at all, like out of the break. Even in their losses, if you go back over this last like week and a half, 2 weeks, there's still 4 runs, 5 runs. Like, they're competitive games against good teams like the Phillies. And they look back, you know, their offense looks back, but particularly the top of that order. And I've had a lot of success on a lot of the Tigers this year, but Torkelson's honestly been my guy. I feel like, I don't know if I can call myself the Torkelson whisperer. I feel like we might need a couple more homers, you know, to maybe get that title first, but he's been really good to me. And I like his position in the middle of that order where you get a decent amount of run and RBI upside. I do normally like the total bases for him because if you go to the baseball savant, I mean, we're like 95th percentile barrel rate, slugging. Like, he makes hard contact. My issue is there have been a decent amount of walks recently. I think he's coming in with like a walk in 3 straight games as well. So, like, he's getting on base and he's getting some runs scored. And I want to be able to capitalize on that upside as well, especially if I do like just generally the top of this order overall. When you look at the matchup, yeah, Peguero is going to be the opener, 1 inning. And then after that, Tyler Alexander doesn't throw very hard, doesn't strike too many guys out, 14th percentile expected batting average. He's pretty solid at avoiding hard contact. He's around 50th percentile, but I don't know how sustainable that is. He's only a 16th percentile ground ball pitcher. And normally when you have a soft throwing guy like that, you'd expect him to live on the ground. Do you know what I mean? Not actually give up that many fly balls. So I feel like Torkelson's a guy that can kind of take advantage of that. Like, the pop against lefties has been, like, even when he sucked and got sent to the minor leagues, that was the one thing he was doing well, is hitting the ball very far against left-handed pitching. So I feel like that just kind of profiles as the best matchup. The White Sox bullpen overall isn't that strong. They just sent down Cannon, I believe, the other day, and this is going to be what takes that start. But they didn't really call up a starter, right? They just called up 2 bullpen guys. But I wanted to go to Torkelson because one of the guys they called up is a lefty as well, in addition to the long reliever. So I think he's going to get multiple at-bats against lefties right here. Obviously, good pitch splits as well when you dive in. Alexander's like a fastball, changeup, cutter guy. Torkelson hits that pitch mix pretty well as well. So minus 115 felt reasonable. He's getting on base in multiple different ways with walks, even when he's not, you know, just hitting it out the ballpark as well. So that was enough for me at this solid price to go from total bases to hits, runs, RBIs, because I just think you have more upside in general. So Spencer Torkelson, 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Bet 365 is the best, but everyone has like minus 120 or minus 125, you know, or better.
Yeah. No, do not mind that at all. I know he's had a couple pretty nice games. I think he went yard either Saturday or Friday as well. So Saturday. Always like the better form when we're back to somebody as well. So it's not a bad look. I'm going to be heading to probably the ace of the slate here, and that's going to be Nathan Eovaldi. Eovaldi is at home against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona coming off of, you know, the free wins, right? When you get to face the Rockies away from Coors Field, you pretty much just got to get those. So I think that's going to be a tough spot here. You're going from that to now having to go mess around in Texas with quite possibly the best pitcher in the AL right now. Obviously him and Skubal, but when you look at numbers here, it's pretty wild. Obviously you expect some regression because he's got a 1.3 ERA right now, which is unbelievable. Doesn't walk anybody, which we like to see. Obviously, that means we're going to get him through these first 5. Don't want to mess around with that bullpen either. But I get Eovaldi facing against Ryan Nelson. Ryan Nelson's been okay, but like I said, I'm getting Texas at home. They're still in the thick of it, man. They're fighting for it. I think Arizona, is kind of in that spot where they're like, we're not really trying for anything. We just sent out Suarez. We sent out Merrill Kelly. We sent out all these dudes. And they got their wins, right, against the Rockies like everybody does. But you get a matchup here with Eovaldi after that. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough spot for him. So I want to play the +5 or plus half a run just because I don't know if I want to trust that Rangers offense too much to do too much for me. So I feel like this is a kind of happy medium. Soriano, obviously a guy that we've had on the show quite a bit. He has a 10.4% walk rate. He was doing so well. He was doing so well for the first month of the year, keeping the ball in the zone. Unfortunately, this is probably the worst matchup for walks that you could get. I know last outing, he did a pretty nice job against the Rays, but the Rays blew him up. He didn't walk. Yeah, he had one walk, but he gave up 7 runs. But the Rays are 6th lowest in terms of walk percentage against righties. The Dodgers are number 1, right? The Dodgers are going to be number 1 in that category. They're the only team this year that walks over a 10% clip against right-handed pitching. You have a guy who already walks teams at 10% clip to the whole season. But yeah, I'm not usually a huge walks guy, but when it's a parlay piece like this, I think he's hit this before the last outing. I think he hit it in 8 of 9. And then obviously the Rays kind of just blew him up, and he only got 68 pitches. So obviously I think the Dodgers come out here to get the win. You get them off of a loss like they did yesterday in a tough matchup where they blew up the game at the end. Addison Barger, hey, shout out Addison Barger. I'll continue to give him his props. The dude's been awesome. But yeah, I think this is a tough spot for Soriano to keep the ball over the plate. I think he's kind of going to be more worried about that power. So sign me up for 2 walks and Rangers. I think this is a good spot at -125.
Yeah, no, Soriano's been great in the walks department. He's been one of the favorite guys to target there. So obviously you get the Dodgers in that matchup. I agree. That was one of the first things I checked off last night that I would be interested in. So I'm 100% gonna be tailing you on this one right here. Obviously, I like the Soriano play. Just in general, it's a bit of a buy low, like you said as well. He just kind of got blown up, so he didn't even really get that much of a chance to walk guys. And it looks a little bit better on paper, but this is a guy that was consistently churning out those 3-walk games. So my only problem is I was looking at other ways to fade him, right? Because I was I think he's going to walk guys, tougher lineup here. I thought the outs would be 17.5. It's only 15.5. That feels low to me. This is a guy that even when he kind of gives up a couple runs, they let him go deep into games. I mean, he's got more 7-inning guy outings than most aces do this year. You know what I mean? So that's the one thing that caught me a little off guard is I might even I like the outs. I'm obviously going to take that. But I might even have to take some the walks. Sorry, I'm going to take the walks, but I might even have to look maybe over 15.5 outs or maybe under 5.5 hits allowed. I don't know, something like that. It's interesting. I feel like it caught me off guard a little bit.
Yeah, my issue is he's super, super hit or miss. If he's on, I mean, you're better off just taking long shots on the dude. 7 innings or 4 1/3. Literally, those are the two. That's what happens. So it's do I want to put him on an outing where it's he could just go, 7 innings and shove, right? And we still hit it with the 2 walks. It's just he does have a lot of 7-inning games. He also has a lot of these 4 1/3 and 5-inning games, just because of obviously the pitch count setting up there. I'm just kind of worried that they haven't really let him go back over 100. I think he only had 1 start over 100 over his last 7. So that always kind of concerns me with a guy who walks people and has the issue with that where it's that can flip really fast.
Yeah, no, that's very fair. I think outs is not outs. I keep fucking misspeaking. I think walks is the best way to bet at 100%. It caught me off guard. When you're expecting to bet a 17 or something and you get that 50 and you're oh, that's too lower than I thought. But yeah, that makes sense. You're right. He is very hit or miss. Maybe if they let you take a 18, walks or something like that, or not walks, outs, you go with that. But I think DraftKings is the only spot that lets you do that.
No, for sure. Let's get a quick recap. We got a couple questions in the chat, and then we'll get to those. So, figure it over you to start.
Sounds good. We got Torkelson over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, -115. Like I said, best on Bet365, but everyone's got -120 or -125.
Yeah, I got Rangers first 5 plus half a run, and Soriano 2 walks at -125. Let's get to some questions here. We got my boy in here. We got Royals first 5 money line. Dal Cavalli could string together 2 good starts. I don't know how I want to bet that game. My issue is I thought I was going to get a better price on the under strikeouts, but it's 3.5. So there's really nothing I want to bet in this game. it sucks. I wanted Cavalli to be at like 4.5, 5.5, coming off of that bigger start.
Yeah.
But books are all over it. Books are all over it, and I think it's 3.5 minus 130 to the over. So it's like tough spot for strikeouts in a team here in the Royals. It's just not good. I'd rather just play Falter props if you're going to play first 5.
Yeah, my thing is just like Cavalli looks good. Like, I don't think he can get deep into games. Really, that's his biggest problem. But when you talk about stuff, I mean, he's throwing 100. He's got good breaking stuff. Like, if he can locate it, and he came out throwing strikes. That was his minor league problem. But last game he was throwing strikes as well. Like, Cavalli is like the one guy I don't mind. Obviously, Gore, when he's good, like he looked a little bit better last night or yesterday during the day. That's good to see. Maybe felt a little more comfortable in that pitcher's park out there, had a little bit more cushion to throw strikes. But outside of him, like Cavalli's stuff like plays. Like no one else on the Nationals has like oomph in their stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of flat 94, and he's got oomph. So I took a little Nationals first 3 at plus 125. The most likely outcome is probably a push, if if it's a draw there. But I think Cavalli through 3, through the first time in the order is good. I think once we get beyond that, it could be an issue, especially with throwing strikes. I think that's when the walks could maybe pile up and maybe Washington goes to the bullpen. And obviously I want the 0 to do with the Nationals bullpen. So all that to say, like, I don't really like the Royals first 5. I'd rather play it any other day. You know what I mean? Against any one of their other starters. But he had something. They won the series against the Giants. They scored some runs for the first time since the All-Star break. So, I don't know if today's the day to fade the Nats. They at least had a little something going, and they've got, in my opinion, their most hopeful, young starter on the mound as well here. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't think he can go deep at all. I don't know if they've even posted an out prop or anything like that, but if it's 15.5, I would just take the under because he was almost through 5 scoreless and they still pulled him after a walk last outing. So yeah, no outs posted and walks 1.5 minus 115. I mean, the Royal, they don't really walk that much, I assume, but I would still probably take a little bit of that as a small bet just because I don't know if I can trust Cavalli to do it at the major league level. Yeah, but I'm excited for him. I think he's pretty solid. I don't think this is the right Nats fade spot personally.
Yeah, there's a lot of times I want to fade the Nationals. I don't know. This is
literally.
I feel like I'd just rather bet Bailey Falter props if I'm going to take that. I think he has a bounce back.
Agreed. I think either Falter or first 5 under kind of thing. Both of them seem live.
Anyone you think in a good spot for a home run on today's slate? I mean, I was kind of talking about that game, man. That Tampa game is.
Yeah.
I just go there, dude. Like, that's going to be wild. I don't mind taking some of those right-handed Phillies against Abbott in Cincinnati. Also, don't mind fucking Wallner and all those dudes, like those lefties against Will Warren, because Will Warren's going to give up something. He's giving up bombs. He's in New York. Tough park, obviously, for him. But, yeah, I think that those are the spots that I'll usually go to. I don't think I'm playing DFS today just because it's such a big slate and I have a lot of other bets to put through. But, yeah, I think those are the spots I'd go to.
I agree with you. I think that last late game is probably going to be the best, but also one you mentioned briefly earlier. I mean, Michaelis and Dollander, I believe it's outside of course still, but I mean, those are 2 very hittable pitchers. If you look at, very hittable pitchers. I mean, Dollander's given up 15 bombs in 68 innings. That's pretty rough. I know obviously Coors hurts you, and he's got a little cushion away from there, but that could be a solid enough game as well.
Yeah, and that's always tough for me when I go against Colorado guys outside of Colorado, unfortunately, just because I don't I just don't know because it's weird because sometimes they just don't do a good job of like telling me what his actual numbers are,
Yeah.
Because if he gets 12 of those innings in Coors, it's just like how many of those are dinks, how many of those are pop ups that just fall because they get a little bit extra, So yeah, Moniak. I don't mind Moniak. He looked fucking horrible yesterday. Dude, I've been on this Ezekiel Tovar train forever. I'm going to keep riding that shit, bro. Like, he was out for 3 or 4 months. That dude comes right back and is putting up numbers, bro. So, I don't mind Tovar. He's one of my guys. I wish I had more cards of him. I had a couple. I just really like him as a player. I think he's in a good spot tonight. Michael is under outs. What is that? What is that at? 16?
Then you got to trust the Rockies to do something on offense, and that's a rough.
It's got to be 16 and a half, right? 16 and a half? Let me see.
Let's check.
I don't even see an outs prop. Okay.
Mine's not loading up for it, so maybe there's.
DraftKings doesn't have an outs prop, so. Yeah, I don't know.
see 16 and a half on Caesars and MGM, minus 130.
Yeah, that was a pretty good guess. That was a good guess. I don't know if I'm gonna bet Michaelis. Give me the fucking under walks. Give me the under half a walk at plus 120. I'd play that. That'd be the only way I want to do it.
It's bold.
Rockies suck, but like they're gonna take hacks at 92 down the dig, right? And that's pretty much what he does. Those cutters and sinkers all around the zone. So I think they're gonna be enough free swingers there. I think that might be a spot for me to play for sure.
That's bold. If I'm playing under a walk, I need like plus 150. You know what I mean? That's my thing. I need plus 180. I don't need plus 110 because you can be perfect. You know, like the ump can fuck you. Like having a good outing and going deep can like. Man, there's so many ways that's why I like over walks because guys can have bad outings and still have good outings and still have 2 walks. You know, like. It scares me, man. It scares me at that low of a number.
I don't think I've ever seen that number at that price. This is why I'm playing.
I don't think I have either.
In my whole life, I've never
seen one. Yeah.
Like even when George Kirby was on it at like a 3% walk rate, they would still have 1.5 juice under, or it was like plus 150. Like they wouldn't give you anything crazy like that. So.
Is the Rockies walk rate like that bad? Like, is it? I mean, that because like you said, this is actually the worst number I've ever.
They are the second lowest walk rate against righties.
Yeah, damn, yeah.
Well, that's what makes it more interesting about Cavalli because the Nationals are the Royals are the lowest.
That as soon as I saw 1.5 playable, I was like, oh, the Rockies must never fucking walk, you know. Which you know.
Well, neither do the Royals. It's just the Royals also just suck.
Royals.
They both are terrible. 80 and 89 WRC plus respectively, and don't walk. That's why I always like taking Orioles to win the hits in the game because they don't walk either, but they're actually good. So Yamamoto over 17 and a half. I'd rather take the plus money on like under 1.5 earned runs or something. I think that's something like that is usually what I like to play because he usually gets through 6 and it's like okay. I don't know. I can't imagine that's what's the odds on that?
There's no way it's not minus 160. That's the
problem.
It
has to be, right? Because I feel like he gets through 6 every game.
Yeah, it's minus 155.
Minus 170 on DraftKings. I'd rather just take the plus, what is it, plus 120 on the under 1.5 earned runs against this.
Or even the win, maybe to get the win.
Plus 120?
Yeah. No, I agree. I saw that comment. I was like, yeah, I mean, I like it, but there's no way they gave us that at a reasonable price. Because like you said, it's a good matchup and he does it all the time. So, yeah, I don't know. I like the over. Maybe play it with a no win. That's real obvious today. If they post my guy Cavalli, like I said, even though I don't think he's going to go 5, so I would take that. But, yeah, we'll see. I like the prop though. I think Yamamoto, he's rocks. I like watching him. I think he has a good game, But I could also actually see him give up a bomb or 2, honestly. But we'll see.
Yeah, that would be the only thing I'd play. I'd play that at the 1.5. But all right, Stu. Anything else for the people here while we're finishing up here?
No, not much. I mean, yeah, just excited. Like I keep saying, excited for football. I've been drafting underdogs. I've done like 30 teams over the last week, essentially, which is a lot of fun. And I'm excited to get back into it. It's almost there. Obviously, preseason kind of sucks. I did bet a little bit of preseason, and the guys I bet played like 1 snap. I was like, oh, that. And I bet on what's his name, the guy I shouted out on the show, Hendon Hooker. That was a mistake. I'd like to apologize for that while we're on the show and on camera because holy shit. And I was right about the analysis. He got all the time in the world, great setups. He fucking sucks. Like, I should have known when they picked up Teddy Bridgewater off the street last year to be the backup over him, just in case that it was bad. But I figured fighting for the backup job against fucking Braden Allen or whatever the fuck that guy's name is like, yeah, you can do that. And no, he had like 20 yards for the first quarter and a half. I think he ended at like 40. So, That's on me. I hope no one tailed it. Luckily, it's only on like Prize Picks and shit. There no like real books are even posting this, but yeah, that was a bummer watching him play football. That I don't think we'll ever have to do that, luckily, because there's no way that guy's going to be a backup on any team. He's a third stringer at best, XFL future in the near future. So that's my bad. I see Tyrone in here join me on Hooker. That was not fun, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know when we're gonna do it. Like I said, we can do a best ball draft in here. And kind of do what we did last year in terms of that. I think that kind of went over pretty well. So maybe we do a best ball draft, and then we'll also have a future show. So lucky for me, August is a lighter month for me. So I usually we can usually do more options, more different options on days as well. So I'm sure me and Sue will figure that out here shortly. But yeah, best ball one should be coming up pretty quick. I'm sure we'll do that soon. I've already got like 4 or 5 in already in the Millie Maker. I don't know if I'm going to try and push that up too high. It's just, those are just like fucking winning the lottery at this point.
Yeah, no, I play the lower, like almost like more cash games and the lower stakes one, just because I just like drafting teams, honestly. I'm like such a sucker for what best ball is, of like, hey, you got what, 20, 30 minutes, just draft this. I'm just like, hell yeah, I'll do that. Like, I like it. It's fun. You know what I mean? I like building teams and constructing them and stuff. So yeah, I do keep getting asked about futures. I probably won't have too many, but definitely we'll find a couple for the show. It's just, we've had.
I don't like having my money that.
Me neither. I was just saying, it has to be a really, really good bet, and like NFL futures are pretty sharp. Like for the best player futures, you'll see a line and you'll go, "Why is this 150 yards lower than I expect for every guy?" And it's because, oh yeah, they can all get injured and you get fucked. So everyone, your projections are gonna have good edges and stuff like that, and you look at it, but you have to account for a lot of bullshit. And at the end of the day, I think you can only narrow down to a couple really, really good bets. You know what I mean? I think it's hard to get 20 great futures in the NFL. So I
don't parlay futures either. For the love of God, don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do like you see people do it all, the World Series, NBA Finals, those ones that people do. Like I've never seen anyone win one of those, but I can respect donating $1 or $2 to the crazy ones. But I agree, I would not do more than 1 or 2, hopefully.
Yeah. All right, we're on the same page at least. So. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you jumping in. Wednesday we'll be back. Just make sure you guys are following over on Twitter to know when we're going to go live there. Just because obviously Wednesdays they're tough. Those are the tough ones because we never know. We never know when the slate's going to go. So we'll get ready for that. But as always, Wednesday and Friday we should be ready. Should be good. Should be ready to roll. And we'll figure out. Friday, I might have to be earlier because I know I have at a wedding thing this weekend as well, so it's gonna be busy. But yes, should be good. We appreciate you guys. Hopefully you're tailing tonight, and hopefully we'll come back with the sweep talking on Wednesday. So have a good one, guys, and we'll catch you on Wednesday.